A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Survival of No Limits. This is part 2 now, out of a planned total of 1,027 episodes. Yeah, 1,027. Of course, this is not going to be something that is pretty much going to compete with the likes of Honest J Nowak or Gaming with Kaiju Force Neo. But of course, it might be enough to tackle some out there, like Hot Wheels Hilarity and Nerf Secrets Revealed. But of course, let's just say here that it's the start of February 2021. And other than the fact that Gaming with Kaiju Force Neo Season 6 is about to premiere, and other than the fact that I might be having other things coming along as well, Survival of No Limits must keep on going. Because there is so much that I have to talk about. I've had a lot of personal experiences in life that could have gotten myself injured in the past, or possibly even killed. And because of my learning, based on survival, based on different techniques and skills that could in fact stop these things from happening in the first place, here I am today, talking about this now. This is 2 out of 1,027. And what I'd like to talk about today is the fact that, well, if you're a good rock climber out there, then, well, that's great and all. But I basically want to talk about my experiences with rock climbing, and in general, about climbing up the side of a mountaintop or cliff. And there are, in fact, lots of different things out there that you probably could try and figure out. But the thing is, rock climbing is basically like a simulation, guaranteeing that either you will do just fine out there in the real world, or you might not do good at all. But it all depends on how well you do at it. There were several recorded times in which I have attempted rock climbing, and yet I have not done so well. At one point I was very close to getting to the top, and I just could not hold on any longer. And of course the main thing about it is that, well, the kinds of rocks that they put on there, they're so small, I can't even fit my large hands on top of them. And aside from all that, I have to say right now that my experiences with rock climbing by today's standards, they have not been as good as they used to be. And I can tell you why. I'm just not necessarily fit for the challenge. In the same way that I'm not really fit for something like an Olympic-style running competition, or perhaps a javelin something out there. I'm just not necessarily fit for every single possible challenge that lies for all of humanity itself. But I can say for sure that, well, I seem to excel in at least 5 different things in life that many of us are going to have to adopt just to be able to get by in case the apocalypse starts. For one, I have really been managing a good diet and a ton of exercise. Not necessarily centered on endurance, but more or less likely that's based on the types relating to weightlifting and muscular training. The second thing I want to incorporate here is the fact that I was able to get some really good education in life. And having a good education means having a good mindset. And having a good mindset means you're capable of doing a lot. And being capable of doing a lot simply means that you're ready to go. As in, when the apocalypse actually starts, I don't know actually when it will happen, but I do know for a fact that sooner or later it could. Something is coming to us, and I know it is. It may not be something like 2012, but it will be something. If it's deep into the future, or if it's just tomorrow. You never can really tell for sure unless it actually happens. But of course, there have been tons of different natural disasters that have occurred throughout our history. Volcanic eruptions, hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, microbursts, and tons of different things out there. The third thing I basically want to talk about right now is that, well, first of all, 1 and 2 are already good enough for me to do it the whole thing, but of course, number 3 is, well, the type of body that I have. Of course, many people might see me as an overweight or obese person, but of course, I pretty much have evidence with me, even though I can't really show it to the camera right now. But of course, I'll simply just leave it as a small photo on my Twitter. Of course, you can go check it out if you want to, but it was basically a series of blood tests that happened back in February of 2020, so it's been almost a whole year since that happened. But I could sure tell you that since then, I've been able to really keep weight control handy, as I was in fact gaining some weight. I pretty much weighed 285 pounds at my highest so far, but then I pretty much dropped back down, and now I weigh around 260. Probably a little less than that. I haven't checked my weight for several days, but you just never really know for sure. But the bottom line here is that I've really been managing my weight control. I've lost more than 25 pounds since last summer, and I'm still going down at it. The thing is, I probably could lose another 5 pounds if I keep doing this. Diet and exercise are really, really big things out there in life. And I gotta say, even if I'm not doing diet or exercise, I'm still guaranteed to do just fine. Because my cholesterol, sugar, alcohol, and other levels that associate with my blood itself, they're all normal, or even lower, for the most part. That's a solid guarantee that I am in fact going to be doing just fine out there. But other than all that, the third thing about my body type, really, is the fact that, well, other than this kind of body that I have here, which kind of looks obese or overweight, I happen to have some really unique abilities, such as extreme temperature tolerances. Last time I found out, apparently my hand can do just fine if I dipped it in hot water that's around 152 degrees Fahrenheit, and as cold as it's gotten so far, well, my body apparently does just fine even in the negative zone temperatures, as far down as negative 55 degrees. Yeah, in case you don't remember, that it was the lowest recorded temperature in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin in January 2019, then basically that's what happened. That's how I found out my lowest possible temperature tolerance so far. But 152 degrees positive in Fahrenheit is my highest. I could go higher if I wanted to, but maybe then I'd probably be scalding. You just never really know for sure. Maybe my body will actually adjust to it at some point, and even if I get dunked in water that's even hotter than ever, I still could be just fine. So of course, my body's natural abilities and skills that are pretty much unlike a ton of people out there, that's number 3 for you. Number 4 is the fact that, well, I happen to be immune to a ton of different diseases out there. I may sound like I'm boasting about this, but it's the truth. I've been vaccinated against dozens and dozens and dozens of different viral, bacterial strands in my entire life. 21, 22 years old I am, and I've been vaccinated against a ton of things. I am protected against the likes of measles, mumps, hepatitis, syphilis, gonorrhea, influenza, chickenpox, and a lot more. So I'm guaranteed to not really contract any of those. But I don't really know for sure. I mean, I haven't had most of these vaccinations again for a while. I might need to have re-injections at some point. I know for sure that I might need to get my tetanus injection at some point, so that's something down the line I might have to worry about later on. And the fifth and final thing is, simply put, my extreme level of intelligence. I've talked about this before with a lot of people out there. The last 10 years almost has been devoted to me putting my absolutely high intelligence to good use. I took an aptitude test just before I completed 5th grade, just before I moved on from elementary school to middle school, and apparently it was an IQ test of some sort. It was legit, of course, so many people don't really have to worry about that good stuff anymore. There are still a lot of IQ tests out there that are as legit as possible that you can probably go out and buy online, but of course, this one in particular that I took, it was pretty extravagant. It was kind of time-consuming, pretty much, kind of monotonous, but I felt like it was kind of fun. I happen to really like most education-based things out there in life. Because I'm just one of those types of people out there that happen to like school and not complain about it. But I should say right now that the IQ score that I got was very shocking to me. No one ever has to trust me when I say this, but apparently the IQ score that I had gotten was 180. Yeah, 180. That would technically put my IQ level above Albert Einstein, Stephen Hawking, and a lot of our other best minds throughout history. No one ever has to trust what I say. But you know what? This is just the honest truth. Everything in my life, I mean, I feel like I'm gonna cry right now because, believe it or not, a lot of these things have now just been erased from existence. My IQ score certificate had accidentally gotten burned during a party in 2014, and let's not forget that, well, not a lot of these vaccinations pretty much last forever. So of course, I could actually contract mumps, measles at some point. I've been vaccinated against a ton of things in life, but I just haven't really contracted anything like that. Never in my life. Maybe the vaccines last longer than expected. I know the tetanus one isn't going to last very long, so I'd have to get re-injected for that at some point in time. But let's also not forget, climbing up a wall or mountainside, it's absolutely dangerous. Rock climbers out there should really get to know that, well, it's just that dangerous. Well, anyways, that's pretty much all I got to talk about for today. I'm sorry that I have been, well, sidetracking and getting absolutely off track with everything else, but climbing up a cliff face can be that dangerous, so let's just leave it at that. But if you want to see more, go down to my channel. I'm Jay Nowak, and this is Survival of No Limits, but please like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.